Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shireen Bhan. It is the Diwali weekend and as you can see, we've got a firecracker of a show lined up for you. Let's start with the new launch from Tata Motors. After 7 years, when Tata Motors first brought its Indigo into the market, resurrect Tata Motors' fortunes in the passenger car segment. We find out.
Looks familiar? Well, it should be. Okay, you don't see too many Indica Vistas on the road, but this is the nose of the Indica Vista. And you know what's coming now, don't you? Like the old Indica, which spawned the Indigo XL, the Indigo Marina and the Indigo CS, this Indica Vista has its first variant. This is the booted Indigo Manza. Manza? Manza is a weird sounding name. We are told it means young steer or deer, and in Italian it means young lady. But people will invariably refer to this as the new Indigo. Unlike the old Indica, which wasn't designed with a sedan in mind, this new Vista platform was designed at the outset to have saloon and estate body styles. And thus the integration of the boot doesn't look as odd as the old Indigo, or even other 3 boxes like the Swift Desire. Now we don't do too many of these styling walkabouts, but I think the Indigo Manza, that deserves it. Look at the nose. It's the same as the Indica Vista, but it gets new headlamps with better defined optics. It's got a bigger grille with more chrome on it and a bigger bumper. It all looks sophisticated and elegant, and I think the nose suits the lines of a sedan much better than a hatchback. Now the wheelbase has increased by 50 mm, so it stretches the car out, again adds to the elegant bit. And then you have the boot at the back. Now unlike the old Indigo, which was an Indica with a boot tacked onto it, this is a far better executed job. Okay, it is a bit fat and bulbous, but it still is not bad looking. And the tail lamps, I think it's sleek and nice looking. The only way you can make out that this is derived from a hatchback is the rear door. This is the hatchback line. Otherwise, it's a well integrated saloon. Remember how much I hated the interiors of the Indica Vista with the speedo and the tacho on top of the center console? No? Well, let me remind you. But that's probably because you won't be going very fast, especially with the speedo out here for every backseat passenger to complain about. Sinesh, go slow, you're doing 40, you're making me sick. And I especially hate having this expanse of plastic in front of me. I want a speedo and a tacho. I'm a driver and that's the way I like it. Thank God then Tata Motors have listened to us and the speedo and tacho moved to where it belongs, behind the steering wheel. In fact, this is a completely new dashboard, and I might add, it's a very handsome looking dashboard. Good choice of materials, of colors, and fit and finish and panel gaps are much improved over that Indica Vista. I particularly like this stereo. It's a 2-in stereo, and on this top end variant it gets Bluetooth connectivity and you can also plug in your USBs. It also has a keypad so you can dial your phone from this. Very nice touch. It gets steering wheel mounted controls, and this is the first Tata Motors passenger car to get airbags and ABS. Like most sedans, owners will invariably be sitting in the back, and Tata Motors have worked very hard on making this the perfect car to be chauffeur driven in. To see just how spacious and comfortable it is, our producer Sandeep took the wheel and I jumped into the back. The Indica has always been known for space. In fact, the Vista is the most spacious hatchback that you can buy. To that Vista wheelbase, engineers have now added 50 mm like we mentioned before, and that makes for an extremely roomy cabin. Look at me, I'm really comfortable. The seat back angle, that's 28 degrees, same as the Mercedes S-Class. There's enough headroom, there's ample amounts of knee room. In fact, engineers tell us that this car has as much space as an Indigo XL. And I remember back at the launch of the XL, the boast was that the XL has more legroom than the Mercedes S-Class. While the roomy nature of the car hasn't changed, the powertrain certainly has, and about time too. The Manza is now the 9th car available in India with Fiat's 1.3-litre multi-jet diesel engine, badged quadrijet in the Indigo. The engine makes 90 PS of power similar to the Fiat Linea thanks to the addition of a variable geometry turbocharger. It runs different gear ratios to the Linea and a slightly different state of tune for better drivability. Though we must say that Suzuki's 1.3-litre engine does feel smoother, quieter and more eager to rev. Engineers from Tata Motors tell us that they work very strongly on getting the right quality spot on this car. But that doesn't mean that they haven't looked at handling. This car gets new suspension bushes and better suspension geometry, and overall it handles much better than the Indica Vista. All the criticism that we had for the Indica Vista doesn't hold true for this car. Okay, this car rolls a bit and it does understeer, but it's composed, it's all in shape. In fact, it is very close to class benchmarks. The ride quality too is pretty good, particularly adept at handling potholes and badly broken sections. However, small undulations do get transmitted to the cabin, and on the expressway, at speed, you can feel all the tiny ripples in the road. Steering feedback too has been worked upon, and it is not as dead as a fish, like the Indicas. Though the downside is that over broken sections, there is considerable steering kickback that one has to deal with. To be honest, when I first drove the Indica Vista, I was sorely disappointed. Especially when you consider how long that car was in development and how much we criticized the old Indica for its quality and other facets, that Vista left us wanting for much more. And that's why when I first came to drive the Indigo, I had no expectations. And now I'm pleasantly surprised. The first thing is styling. Okay, this might not be the most stylish car around, but look at its competition. The Honda City is not competition. This car will compete with the Fiesta, the Desire and the Linea. And if you compare it to the Fiesta and the Desire, this thing is actually stylish. The only car that's more stylish is the Linea. Then again, this car has got better interiors. It's extremely roomy. It's got very good ride quality. In fact, there are a lot of things going for it, including value for money. And that's why I think what we're looking at is the new class benchmark. Tata Motors, well done.
That's a wrap on this episode of Overdrive. You can catch the highlights of our show on our website and on YouTube as well. We'll see you again next week with another power-packed show. But till then, from all of us here, wishing our viewers a very happy and safe Diwali.